Hey everyone, welcome to another video. In this one we're gonna provide a tutorial in how to create simple but professional looking interactive charts in Python. We're gonna use the bar chart as an example and use Python package plotly or plotly.px as an example, and the type of interactive charts that we're gonna provide is something like this, where you can have in multiple information in a chart. You can use maximum use of information. When you have hover your mouse, control what information you want to show, and also this is a neat feature when you can control what information is available by using the legend information to hide or add information there, and also control the labels and other customization. So this is a Python tutorial. The information for that, as always, is available in our blog. The link and information is in the description. It's open access project where you can have access to the code and all the cost items that we have. And in this video, I'm going to provide a step-by-step guide to be able to understand the code and customize it based on your own need. Along the way, we're going to apply some data cleaning techniques as well to prepare and consume our data for the visualization, and that's the sort of things that you always need, especially for visualization, because most of the time the data is not perfect or ready for your visuals. So that's also a good practice to have a look at those data cleaning techniques as well. So some basic information here. That's the code. Again, you can access it to a notebook, but again also you can convert it to a Python script and run it in however and whatever editor is most comfortable for you. I'm using it in online editor in Google Colab, which is very comfortable for any technical background in order to run it. So the link you're gonna get access is actually the link to this script, which is you can run it regardless of what program you have in your system, of course. The first step is, as always, importing the packages. Along the way, as you can see, Plotly Express, that's the main package that I'm going to use here for the visualization. I have some data, of course, for the input for visualization. That data in this case comes from Google Sheet. That's why I added this part, which is how you can read Google Sheet from Google Colab. Again, I have some tutorial specialized for that with more explanation in if you're not familiar to that or you want to have an overview on that step, you can have a look at that part. But again, I already included here and you can run it, and there's a window pop-up, ask for authentication and access of Google Colab to Google account where your Google Sheet exists, which once I run it, it's gonna takes a little bit while. I'm gonna allow that access and go to the next step. Next step is actually reading the data and then overviewing it. So again, this piece of the code is reads the data. This is the name of the Google Sheet. That's the name of the tab or worksheet within that spreadsheet. And I get all the rows information and I read it as a data frame. I call it data from now on. If you want to see what that data looks like, it's something like this. That is actually data for the online traffics in a website, in a web platform. So traffic, these are columns or different ways where this traffic comes, whether if it's organic or it comes from through different social platform, where it comes from emails, it comes from Facebook, it comes from a specific events to different dates. So that's how you can make sense of the data. Next step is we're gonna apply some data cleaning techniques. So what we're gonna do, our goal is to visualize the frequency of this different type of traffic in the website and compare these different ways toward each other. For example, the referral traffics compared to organic traffics, compared to social traffics, compared to emails, and all these different sorts. And then one other thing we're gonna do, we're gonna see how these different events, so different event A, event B, how these two these different events to compare, and these events could be if there was a promotion or if there has been some specific event happening on the website, how that actually compared and affected the traffic. So for that visualization, as you can see, most of the numbers here are actually numeric. So we want to make sure this numeric number are actually integer, they're correct type, and the date is always tricky to work with dates. You want to make sure your date value is actually understood as date in Python. So let's look at the types of all the columns by using this. And as you can see, all my columns are interpreted as text, which is wrong. So I need to fix it. So what I'm gonna do, let's say my purpose is to compare the organic traffic to this website to the social traffic, to the social media traffic from social media to this website. So I know that actually the data is integer, so I'm gonna just change the types, which works in this case because they are actually in numbers. There is no data error there. So this takes care of that. Now my the traffic columns actually are proper. Next step is the date column needs to be actually understood as date. So as you can see in here, I want to first change the format of this. So instead of this dash, I'm gonna have this character. So I'm gonna change the two character such that I'm gonna have this character between the day, month, and year. So that's the first step. I'm gonna change this character and replace this character with this character. And the second step, because once I have this character to separate day, month, and year, then it's easier for me to use this date time type and just change the type of the column from a string to the date, because now using that character, Python understand that okay, that's a date, and then I can look at the date value and apply it. So let's actually run all the results so far and see what's the result would look like. So I just run everything so far until this step, and as you can see, this is the value that we have for this column, and the type now is understood as date, which is exactly what we were looking for. So next, let's have our first graph, which is the most simplest graph. It's looking at the organic, just the organic type of traffic from this website as a bar chart over time in different dates that we have. So this is px bar that gives you the bar chart, and then you can show the figure here. So I didn't add customization, color, titles, or anything. It's just purely, as you can see, that's the basic way of using it. And what you can see, you can hover your mouse and get the value toward each column. Next, I'm gonna add some title information, some labels, which again you can use for labels, title. I'm gonna added the label here and the title. So instead of organic, let's call it actually traffic counts using the organic graph. So you can even change that, what I have here. And then there you go, I added the title. So that's the simplest way of the customization that you can have. Something important to have in mind, as you can see, because my column is now understood as date, then I can actually see this interpretable date values here in the x-axis. So next, let's actually do a little bit more complexity to this chart. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a third variable using a color feature to make this, to add an interactive control in legends. So as you can see, again, this is the data that we saw. What we're gonna see, we're gonna add a third variable, and the third variable, again, the first variable so far is the date, second is organic traffic count, and third is whether there has been event and what type of event has been happening. So we have event A, B, or C in this case. So that's my third variable, which is the event type. So what I'm gonna do in this case is adding that third variable event as a different color. So it means that if either of these organic counts in each month or in each date, in this case in the month of October and November 2016, the event was A. So in this case, color it differently for me as opposed to B and other events. So that's why I add this part to the previous code, and then you can also run this to see now what would be the result. As you can see, okay, now I get different color for different events. Event A is something like blue, and then red is event B, and green is event C. And as you saw first, this is actually plotly give you the ability to have interaction with the legend and like this work with them. There are of course other customization available in Plotly, so let's have a look at the documentation for that to see what else we can do using this package. So the two additional sources as links that I provide in this tutorial is first the web page for different type of charts in Plotly in Python that you can see. Again, there are basic and more complex charts. One of the basic chart was bar chart that we're seeing here, and in this tutorial you're going to see some more examples in this case. The second source is this web page which gives you all different options for customization of what's possible. For example, so far we added some titles, some labels, we changed those labels, we added a third variable to control the color. What else you can do, all these different possibility like the font, the color, the background color, the different options to the y-axis, the x-axis, all different things are possible to do here, which you can go over and play with it and add more customization for your own need. Look forward to see you in other videos. See you in next video.